Welcome to Kolorflow Conversations. I am Uakeisha, and this is
Tikisha.
Look, did you feel me looking at
I
you?
did.
See that? I was like, she probably gonna wake up or open her. I said, wake up, open her
Wake
eyes,
up.
and look right at me.
Yes.
Listen, we are glad to have you with us. If this is your first time, welcome. We want you to like, listen, and subscribe. This is Kolorflow Conversations, and we just, flow with our conversations.
Yes, literally.
I always start our conversations on something. I've been doing it for the last, 23 episodes, I think. But I want to ask you today, is there anything that you ever wanted to start us talking about and we haven't?
No.
Really?
No.
You just go with whatever the flow.
I just go with the flow.
Because I always be like, I just start talking and I'm a talker. So I thought about this morning. I'm like, I've never asked you if it's any specific topic because we don't plan a topic. If there's anything you ever wanted to talk about and we've never discussed it.
Mm-mm.
Okay. Well,
I mean, at the end, you always ask me if I have something for the most part.
Yeah.
You do that. I think you feel it I think it's only been one time that you said, you have something for it. I'm like, no, I ain't got nothing. But
yeah, I wanted to make sure, that I don't be just, running my mouth because I can. I always have a lot to say. You do too, though.
Do I? Because I feel like I don't.
I think that once we get into it, I think that once we start, and this if you have a friend that you've been friends with for a long time, and your conversations just flow, that's kind of how it goes. So I feel like once we get started, yeah, you have a lot to say.
You know what? I think that's maybe one of my things where I'm not a conversation starter.
Yeah.
Like I can join in and may have a few things to say, but I don't really strike up conversations like me thinking about just who I am overall.
You consider yourself an introvert though?
Yeah.
So
I am an introvert, but I am extroverted with my people.
Yes. Yeah. Okay, I agree. So I think it's that way with introverts that I know. My daughter is an introvert. So when we go places, I can, and even if it's people that's her age, that she may not know that well, I'll say, so-and-so be there, they're your age, whatever. So you can talk to them and she'll just be looking at me like, I don't really start conversations.
Yeah.
But if someone starts to talk to her, then it's easy for her to flow with it.
Yes, I am most definitely the same way. I'm not a conversation starter. And just think about situations where we've been out in a group of people. I ain't saying too much.
Yeah, I'm a conversation starter. I don't know, and I probably get that from my dad because he could talk to people in the grocery store in the line. I remember us growing up. Nobody's a stranger to him at all.
My mother was like that.
Your mother was like that.
Everybody, but I'm a Banks at heart, so I ain't got no words.
I think in the 30-something plus years, whatever we've been friends, your father has never started a conversation with me.
No, and he's not. You're lucky if he speaks to you, and you're lucky if you've ever heard his voice. Right. Let's be clear.
I think that we've always said hi and goodbye. But my daddy, when he sees, hey, Tikisha.
Yes, we're having a conversation. I never even thought about that.
But your mother was always like, Uakeisha,
yes,
Uakeisha, So it was, and I never thought about it until now either. But your daddy never, he know who I am. He know Uakeisha. He know, been around me, and that's always how you doing. And goodbye.
Yeah, I never thought about that because I would have conversations with both of your parents, and then when me and your mom would have our girl talk, your dad would venture off. But
And it's also interesting that both of my parents were, well, you know what? My father's a conversationalist, but my mother probably was more introverted or more extroverted with the people that she knew now that we say it. And I probably didn't recognize it until we're talking about it now. Because she, as the pastor's wife, was very friendly and did her role. Like when guests will come to the church, if a guest minister's wife will come, she would get up, she would go greet her and bring her to the front to sit next to her, but she wouldn't have a full conversation unless it was somebody that she had camaraderie with already. But my father could have a conversation with anybody. My mother could have a conversation with our friends because we all laughing and talking. And once she get to know you, it was easy for her to do that. But she probably was more introverted and more extroverted with her people. Yeah. Because she ain't had no friends like that. I think we talked about that. She didn't really have a friend group. She had her sisters and her nieces. That was it. She was friendly with other women, but she didn't have a friend group. Now people will say, you got to have, your strong friend group, your strong friend group. I don't know.
My friend, her dad told me all you need is one friend. If you have one good friend, you're doing good. I'll never forget when he said that. And I really believe that is the truth. Fortunately, I've been blessed with more than one, but I feel like as long as you got somebody.
Yeah.
You need somebody.
Yeah. I feel like I have people that, I told you before we got on camera that I'm starting to see where my soul tribe is developing or who's in my soul tribe for real as I've gotten to this particular age and people fall off. And the people that stay on, you start to see if they're your real soul tribe. I'm starting to see now, and there's levels to soul tribes because even my son's friends, their mothers, they're a soul tribe for mine, but it's a different type of tribe. It's more like a village where we look out for these children together, and we don't talk on the phone daily. We may go for walks sometimes. We may get together every now and then, like, let's go out to eat or let's go, but we don't, they a tribe that I know love me and we're going to be there for me. And if my children are in a place where I'm not, that they're going to look out for my kids.
And see, when I think of, and when I say soul tribe, I think of people that I connect with on all levels, heavy on spiritually.
Yeah.
And we're in tune. So how we may say something at the same time, or you may tell me to do something, or it just be something that can just be random, but it's really right on time and you just don't know why, because I believe that the Holy Spirit is leading you to lead me and leading me to lead you. So that's when I feel that the soul tribe is coming in, whereas we're all aligned.
Yeah.
And working towards the same thing.
Yeah.
Because, you can be one of my good girlfriends, but it not necessarily be that soul connection. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Because I'm evolving. Like I told you today, there are certain things that I'm doing that I didn't think that I would ever do. And there's going to be things where it was just like, where some people may be like, I don't want to be with her. She going to be having her head covered all the time. Like, and it's just going to be some places where before I was going where now I'm just like, I don't want to do that no more.
That's really, really superficial.
Yeah, but we live in a superficial world.
Yeah.
We are in the world of BBLs.
Yeah. It's a superficial world. You're right. It's a superficial world.
And I ain't saying nothing wrong with that, because it's just, to each his own. Because I still go through my things with how I look, but for the most part. Okay.
Oh, God, girl. Look, we all go through things about how we look. Because I've been looking at my hair like, man, why? It's starting to be like, am I tired of my locks?
Really?
But then the next day I'm like, no, I'm not tired of my locks.
Do you think you would ever comb them out?
No.
I know someone who did.
No, I've been seeing videos of people combing theirs out. And
I've seen a few of those too.
I don't think, I don't know. I don't think I would.
Yeah, we never want to say never.
I never say never.
Got a burp. We've been like 2 seconds in.
No, I don't never want to say never. I don't ever want to say never, because I do love them, more than the days where I'll be like, oh, I just can't get it right, or something. Like one sometimes just be sticking straight out or whatever. And that's the superficial part. that you want it to be perfect. And nothing is perfect.
See, for me, most of you gonna get what you gonna get with this hair, because sometimes I don't even wet it and shake it. It's just what it is.
Ooh, child. I look, yeah. I'm trying not to be superficial anymore like that though. I try not to. I remember I was dating this guy. I always got a dating story. I was dating this guy.
You do. You do.
I was dating this guy that had lost a lot of weight, and he always looked at people after he lost weight like, oh, they fat. They need to do something about that. And I was like, how can you, just because you have done well and you keeping it off and everything. And he was like, I don't know. That's like, we really had a conversation. He's like, I really need to stop that, don't it? It's a real problem. He said, I literally be looking at people like, ugh, and I shouldn't be doing it. And I said, no. So,
especially since it's just like, that was you.
And it was a turn off. I was just like, people in maybe their family or anything, like they need to work on this. And we all have something we need to work on.
Yes,
but I try not to, go that superficial route. Like even with makeup, I may think that somebody may look better with a little something, but I'm learning to accept people.
I feel like I want to pull out the dictionary and look up the word superficial, because it's just making me think, because some things you do, is it necessarily superficial if I'm doing it because it makes me feel good and look a certain way, and it's just, makes the inner me and the outer me just all shine and come together.
Yeah. I don't want to look. I think that how we put ourselves together, or anybody put themselves together, should be for how they feel about themselves. I don't want to look at somebody and feel like they need to do this, because that's where I feel like the superficial me comes in. Or now, if it's a friend, I'll be like, girl, the suggestion or whatever, is that different? I don't know, fine line maybe. But I don't want to just look at somebody like, they just,
Yeah, I never, I shouldn't say never. I don't really look at people like that. I may, like we talked about before, when it's just like you half naked, and I'm, gonna be like, oh, okay. But for the most part, I think the more I come into my authentic self, I really be thinking about stuff, because I admire Rihanna, because if people dressed and came out the house like her, people would be looking at them like it's crazy, whatever. Yeah. But when she does it, it's like a high fashion thing. Yeah. And I love that, because she is being true to who she wants to be and putting on whatever she wants, not caring what anybody has to say about it. Yeah. And that's
how you should be.
It's my goal.
Yeah.
It's been one of my things where I was just like, I want to be like Riri. I want to walk out the house and just whatever I want. It don't have to necessarily be super matchy and do this, go with this, and what people gonna say if I look like this. Like, I don't care what people gonna say about me, because I'm me and I'm happy with me.
You know what else I like about Rihanna? And I was never a huge Rihanna fan. Musically or anything. I mean, I knew her songs, but I liked them, but I just was never like a super fan. But I've become a fan after she has gotten away from music. Okay, I know. But I've gotten to be a fan of hers because I watch her character and her personality. And when she's released her, I think recently it's been the hair care and makeup, when she's had different events, she treat each person that step up to her like they her cousin, like they her long lost friend, and she pay attention to.
She's very personable.
She's very personable. I love that about her. Like, she obviously look at social media, because when people walk up to her, she be like, "Oh, you the girl that do that? You the," and I'm like, I love that about her. She's so personable, and so many people are not relatable or personable. As they get bigger and what society calls become a celebrity. And I just love people like that. And that's why I'm like becoming one of her fans now, because I'm like, oh, because before maybe I couldn't reach her because I don't know.
But let me ask you this, and I'm proud of myself for remembering, because I really wanted you to get your thought out without me cutting you off. But are you, when it comes to music, is that even really like your thing?
No,
because I cannot go a day without listening to music. So I think when you saying like you're not a fan, I don't think that's really the proper thing to say, because it's not really your thing music wise overall.
You are right. Now,
and not saying that you hate it.
No, but you're right, because I'm not a big music fan, period. Growing up, I was a big gospel music fan. So you could say anything about gospel artists or anything. I know it because I grew up on that. And that's probably never going to go away from me. I mean, this past Sunday was Father's Day, and the Clark sisters and Kiera Shear was at the restaurant I was at. And I was like, fangirl, you know. And I texted my daughter because she's a Kiera Shear fan. She tell me, oh my God, tell her Gabby said hi. She know who I am. Girl, she don't know you, but okay.
But everybody knows Gabby. Okay, let's be clear.
Right. But I'm a big gospel music, you know, and even I won't even say a fan. I just know gospel music. When it comes to other genres of music, I've never been a huge, I gotta listen to music every day. You listen to music every day.
Every day. I can't imagine my life without music.
I've never been that. I've never been I don't know, when I listen to the radio, you know, already in the car, I got rid of my Sirius because I stopped listening to music. I drive in silence. Even at my house, I used to play my Alexa on Sunday mornings, you know, play gospel.
Yeah, the people do that, and when they cleaning and stuff.
When they clean it, but I can go every day without listening to music.
So did you grow up, were you in a household with your parents listening to music as you was growing up, or how was that?
Gospel. We were not allowed to listen to secular music.
So did your mom play that? Like in the house, was this?
Okay. When she was cleaning.
Okay.
When she was, you know, when we were on our way to church, it was a routine. I think they could have went without listening to music.
I recall my mother playing the radio while cleaning and doing things around the house and on holidays and stuff, and in the car. But it wasn't like a constant flow of it. It was just like, oh, I'm about to clean up. Let me turn some, you know, music on. Or most definitely Christmas. The music was playing. And my dad, girl, I remember getting in the car with him and the radio would be on, but it would be so low that it would be like, I don't even know, like just power it off. But
where do you think your love for music came from?
That's what I'm saying. Like, I have no idea. And I have it, and my son most definitely has it because, you know, artist himself. But
I grew up gospel.
So I don't know if maybe my cousins might have impacted me with growing up with them.
I'll tell you how disconnected from music I've been. Like, I know artists like, okay, Beyonce. We went to a Beyonce Jay-Z concert some years ago, whatever. I knew Jay-Z. I knew some songs that came on the radio, but a lot of the songs that he did in the concert, I think I went to that concert with you.
We went together.
You knew every word to the song. You was up there like, and I was like this. That's why I was thinking, like, did we go to a concert?
Yes, we did.
And that's like a lot of concerts. I would even honestly say I'm a Beyonce fan, but when I've gone to her concerts, I have not known the word to every song, which to me let me know I'm not as a Beehive member as I thought.
Right, because what?
Because I don't know the word to every song. I know a lot of her songs, but music has not been a huge part of my life like that. And I understand, like, a lot of people who say, man, that song got me through.
Yeah, music has saved my life. I think I've said that on here. Like, music has saved my life.
I've heard that a lot.
Music, oh my goodness, I get chills right now just thinking about how impactful it has been, how there's been songs that I've listened to that I'm like, did I write this? Cause how you know my life? Yeah. Meg the Stallion, how you know my life? You know, it'd be like with a little switch, because I mean, I ain't on that level. You know what I'm saying? Like financially, where they in a status where I ain't showing the bling bling, but it'd be stuff where I'd be like, oh my God.
And it's crazy because it's been a big part of my life in ways. Like my ex was a musician, my sister is a musician. I grew up playing the piano for a while. I don't even know if you knew that about me.
I never knew that.
I used to play for the church.
Really? I knew Tanya was a musician, but I never knew. Like, what? See what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? You be knowing people your whole life and you don't even know them. So quit acting like you know people because you don't know them.
Because you don't know them. Tanya was on the organ, I was on the piano. And I did not have a love for it like that. And they allowed me to stop playing, but Tanya didn't. I don't know if Tanya had a love for it, if she just took it more serious and got better. So she kept doing it.
Tanya's really driven.
Yeah, but when it comes to music, not playing music, she's not as driven. I don't know if it was a love. Now she probably would say, we'll have her on one day to talk about it.
Girl, she's gonna be in the comments. All right, she's gonna be in the comments. Gonna clear this up real quick.
Right. Now, she may say something different about me. Yeah, she may say something different about music when it comes to her because she's a musician. I'm not gonna say fully what she and I talked about, because we have her on. She can talk about her love or dislike for music or whatever. But yeah, my ex was a musician, so I've always been around it. But maybe that's why I'm not a lover of it, because I haven't had great experiences with. He wasn't the only musician I've dated. I've dated other musicians.
This is true.
I've dated well-known musicians that have been on tour with, people, A-list people. And maybe that's why I don't have a love for it unconsciously. And I'm just thinking about that now.
That's crazy. But yeah, I love music. I can't even concentrate. Like when I'm working, when I used to be in school doing my homework, I would listen to music.
Now, I just went and turned, I thought it was a TV playing, but it was actually music. My daughter has a love for music like that, and her music taste is very
various. She like me is one extreme to the next. Like I'm primary hip hop, don't get it twisted, but I just remember hearing her headphones when she had them on, and it's just like, okay, she done went and it done switched all the way
around, all the way around. So I think that she's probably, and as she get older, it might be a conversation we'll have. She might be a person that say music has changed her life in various ways, because she does listen. She go from listening to a holy gospel song to a rap song, to Meg, to Cardi, to Ariana Grande, to some K-pop. I be looking like, but she know the words, like you. She probably know the meaning of everything, and it just hasn't affected me in that way. Like I think I've always looked at it probably like a job, because of the people I've been around.
In their whole life. That's interesting.
Yeah, I probably looked at it more like, this is a job for people to make their money. And I just, like I said, Rihanna, now that I'm looking at her character and personality outside of music, like I knew her, some of her songs, work, and all that. Umbrella. I watched her Super Bowl performance, and I was like, oh wow, I think it was good. But now that I see her outside, I'm like, I think she's really happy now. I think she's doing exactly what she want to do, and she approaches everyone like they're her cousin, and that's how I like to be in my life. Conversationalist. I talk to everybody.
Yeah, I'm not big on that. I remember at work when I had started a job, the guy was just like, okay, so tomorrow, I'm going to set up something so we can get together and get to know each other. And I was like,
you probably was like, oh no.
Get to know each other? You mean get to know the job functions? Because you need to know nothing about me but my name. All right. And then I come to work on time and do what I was supposed to do. I don't want to get to know you.
And that's been a lot of problems on the jobs that I've had in the past, because I haven't worked for an office job like that in years. But I remember getting to know people, and then when you get fired or laid off, it's like, how can you do this to me? You know me. I have a family, or, we're friends. You think I don't ever want to get to know anybody like that no more. I want it to be what it is, like you said.
One of my biggest lessons in the workplace was thinking that the manager was my friend. And I remember us having a conversation about something personal, so I thought. And then when it was my review time or whatever meeting we had, the one-on-one, she brought that up. And that was my lesson to separate that. And I was blessed with my most recent job, but that was with like the friendships that I made there are my lifelong, more than likely, friendships. But I can't say that for everywhere, but I really like, and that was different for me to break down that barrier, because I put that wall up and was just like, oh, I'm not befriending any co-workers. You're just my peer. We come here to do a job. I'll be nice, cordial. We work together, sitting here all day. You're going to share some things. But after that, it was just like, did you really just throw this back up in my face?
Yeah.
And it was nothing that really affected my job performance. That's why I remembered it, where it was just like, if I hadn't told you that.
Yeah. Why are you bringing this up?
Why is you bringing this up?
Yeah. I think that we have to learn that. We be because you spend so many hours
You spend so many hours here, and you be thinking that it's your friends. The problem is we want everybody to be our friend and everybody to like us and to get along with everybody. And that's just not what it is. We need to establish boundaries, strong boundaries, and that be it. I go to work to do this job. I'm not going here to make friends with Karen. I'm not. Good morning.
Goodbye.
Have a nice evening. I don't ask how was your weekend. I'm not doing none of that. Mostly because I don't care, and I'm not a conversationalist either. But I'm just not doing that.
You know what? I do not know. Well, yes, I do know. Like, you're not a conversationalist. You've never been.
But I can talk your ear off if we could.
Yeah.
Clearly.
Yeah. Clearly. Because remember we first started this, and my sister, who's been in your life as long as me, was like, I've never heard her talk so much. Y'all got to get to know people.
Which is crazy for her to say that. That's crazy for you to say that, Tanya. I'm talking directly to you right now, because we went on a whole trip. We went out the country together. Come on now, you know I talk.
Y'all got to get to know people. And you know what? I did not take the time to get to know people in my life. Last week we ended on talking about something similar to this. And I think getting to know somebody. My aunt, I don't know if I told you this. My aunt got married about 3 weeks ago. She's 73. Did I tell you this?
No.
My aunt got married about 3 weeks ago. I did her makeup for her wedding. My uncle passed about 12 years ago. My Uncle Leroy, who I gave the kid to. His wife got married. And so as I'm doing her makeup and we're talking, she had never shared any of this with me because I didn't. When she popped up with a boyfriend, I was looking like, what is you doing? Like, come on now. I'm thinking. And she shared with me when I did her makeup, she said, I told God about 7 or 8 years ago that I didn't want to leave this earth by myself. I wanted to finish I wanted a companion. And I was like, really? And she said, yeah. She said, you got to talk to God, Keisha. And I was like, what you say? What you say to him? Yes. But no, she was like, I told him exactly what I wanted. And I believe he was going to give it to me. That was 7 or 8 years ago. So the gentleman that she married, we've been knowing him for a long time. His wife passed shortly before my mom. And never would have thought that they would have got married. But she said when he called me and said, I've been thinking about you and I'd like to take you out to dinner, I was like, what'd you say? She said, I thought about it for a month. I didn't answer right away because I had to listen to God give me clarity on things. Even though you want something right away, even though I knew him, I didn't know him. So she waited a month and then they started going out. This was 2 years ago. My aunt was in her 70s when the man called. She wasn't in a rush to get married. They dated for 2 years. She said, I took my time. And she said, I didn't feel like that I had to rush. Because even though I knew him, I had to get to know him in a way that it was going to be for me.
That's amazing. I have so many thoughts. Oh my goodness. The first thing I want to say is, first off, is for her to have that view at her age, because we be so busy putting times on everything. Stuff.
Yeah.
We need to remove that time, because that's when we bring in the limits.
The limits, yeah. And as I'm doing her makeup, like I was getting chills, and it was some other stuff that was being said too, but I ain't gonna put all it out there because I was amazed.
She gonna have to tell me later.
I'll tell you later, but I will show you a picture because you ain't gonna believe this. I will say this as I'm finding the picture. It was other things that she said that was confirmation to me that we need to stop putting limits on God and start believing and get to know people in a way that he want you to get to know them and not in your own way.
I'm going to tell you something.
She's 73.
About girl, bye. You ain't no 73.
So she look amazing.
She looks amazing.
She look amazing. I was like, she looks so good. But I was like, things that we asked for and we want it right now in everything, whether it's relationships,
yeah, don't matter what whatever. It is.
She was like, at 71, whatever age, she could have been like, I need to marry him right now. I need to get right now. She took her time. They built a friendship. She said we would talk on the phone for 3 hours every day. I said, at 70 something, I don't even like talking on the phone. Keisha, you better get that out your head, because how else are you going to get to know somebody unless you talk?
Yeah, because everybody going to be, we not going to be texting paragraphs. But y'all gonna be sending voice messages back and forth, because so I don't know what you're gonna do. You gotta work on that.
I learned a lesson in patience and waiting on God and not rushing things that day. And when I tell you, you can feel the happiness and the joy. Maybe we have her on one day to talk about it, because the joy and happiness, and like he called her while we were all getting ready, and just the conversation between the friendship is there. And I was like, man,
that's what I want, the friendship. But moving slow, we didn't talk about that, but that has really been my thing, because I think I done told you before, like when I act, then I'm just like, oh, I moved too fast. That's not what God wanted me to do.
I know.
So I've learned, how, because I told you my mind, it don't stop. So at some point though, I have to pause so I can listen.
Yeah.
That's why they talk about the meditation, because the prayer, you send your request out. How do you know if it's coming in unless it's just fall?
I had to do that though. I had to, which is why I'm in my season of solitude now, where I don't answer the phone for people. And I'm not trying to be mean when I don't answer somebody. I'm talking about in the dating world or old friends, whatever. I'm not trying to be mean, but I haven't learned how to cut all conversations off where they should be, so I don't answer or reply or something, because I know that the devil done dangle great looking things in front of me. You know what I'm saying? In these last couple of years, like, woo, great. Well, I thought was great.
Yeah,
you was great, but but I'm saying, like, and then when you rush it, and then you hit a point where, like, oh man, when you realize I rushed this, I wasn't patient, I didn't give the time that it needed, then it's like, now I gotta go cold turkey and cut this, because I was moving in my own self.
I think the key is to eliminate time.
Yeah.
Period. Because there's some people who I'm sure did have the same outcome with the shorter time frame.
Let me ask you this. When we're talking about time, because we hear this a lot on social media and TikTok, because that's our university, whatever. When a woman has been with a man for umpteen amount of years, 5, 6, 7, even 10 years, and they're not married yet. She's still waiting. Do you think that she should still be waiting?
No. No. I think that the most important thing is to make sure that the end goal, game, whatever, alignment, whatever word we want to use, is that we're on the same page.
Yeah.
So, and pages, they turn, the story change, people change, we evolve. So if I know in my heart that I want to get married, and I'm not saying that I'm putting a time frame on it, but if I know that you are not moving towards that, and that's not necessarily something that you want, because let's be clear, men know what they want.
They do.
Men know what they want.
They do.
And I'm not changing to be who a man wants me to be. Mm-hmm. So
if he wants you,
you gonna want me, you gonna make it known. I'm not gonna be sitting there wondering, because a man is gonna go after what they want. And let me just take men out of it, because men do, but women do too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Just like you want those degrees and all of these other things, how we talking about the success the last week. Like, we may not be measured by that, but it's certain people that those are how they want to be measured. So they're going after it. They're getting it. The determination, the dedication, and
the
discipline. Yes. So if 10 years then went by and I know that this is something that I really want, and you're not giving it to me, and you don't have any intentions because you showed me.
Yeah.
And if I'm standing how I'm supposed to be and nurturing my relationship with God done told me 100,000 times, and then probably showed me signs like that man ain't gonna marry you. So I need to decide on how important it is for me to become a wife or to stay a girlfriend. And I don't want to be a girlfriend at all, period. I want to be your friend and your wife.
So that's not contradictory saying we need to stop and put a time on it, because you're right. We all know what we want.
Yes.
We all know what we want. And you will be in alignment, which is like my aunt was in alignment with the gentleman. They knew what they wanted. They took their time together, though, got to know each other. And at that moment when they were like, okay, we're ready for this, they both were ready, and they did it. We see so much of people staying together for years. And unless you don't want it, unless you both are
right. Fine, and if you're both okay with not being married, that's good too. Ain't nothing wrong with that. But because I see comments, speaking of Riri, like she my friend.
Yeah, with her and ASAP.
Yes, in the comments like, well, she not a wife yet, so maybe that ain't what she want. She living her life according to her terms. He living his according to his. What works for them works for them. It don't. Everybody's end game is not to be married.
Yeah.
And I'm not necessarily promoting kids out of marriage, but that's just what it is. And we all gonna sin, and I'm not gonna judge one sin better than the other. So if you don't want to be married, you don't want to be married. But I just think that you need to be in alignment. And a lot of times I feel like when you're not on the same page, it's because really that person ain't really your person, and you just not coming to terms with it. That person is maybe your partner in business.
That's
because marriage itself, I ain't never been married, but this is how I see it. It's a partnership, and it's things that you do together. But sometimes in relationships, you stay in it longer because other things that then came in and just intertwine, because, we have this list of this man and what this man looks like. And then you get somebody that hits everything on the list, but he doesn't want to marry you. It ain't necessarily that man don't want to get married. He just don't want to marry you. He ain't showed you nothing that he wants to marry, but because he fits your checklist, you're staying with hopes that one day this man is going to marry me. And then I don't know what the man's mind frame is, but sometimes you just stay in relationships because, it just work. It seemed right. We got kids. She's a good person. She's good to me. She cooks. She clean up. It just works. But it's not something where it feels like I want to marry her. I will lay down my life for that woman.
Yeah, and that's what it got. That's what's supposed to be.
And that's what I want.
Yeah, that's what's supposed to be. That's what's supposed to be.
I want that love, that protection where it's just burning in his soul. Okay? Not that.
Yeah.
You know, so, but I don't think it's a time on it because like I always tell you, if I meet you on Tuesday, I want to marry you Friday, hey. I'm just saying, like, I just want to pull out time because I feel like we limit it. And then it's just like, if he ain't doing this by this, like, it takes time, like you said, 2 years for them. So everything, it just flow and listen and pray over it.
But
and really listen.
But you know when you're not in alignment with that individual.
Yeah.
When it's been almost a decade.
Yes.
And no movement, unless you don't want that, no movement has happened, then there probably isn't alignment with you all wanting the same things.
And let's be clear, sometimes it's alignment even when you get engaged and get married. I mean, not in alignment when you get engaged and get married because God revealed things to you that you just wasn't listening and still went forward with it because that person was never supposed to be your person. The thing is, we need to learn to trust God more in every aspect of our life. We don't need to believe in him for one thing. We need to believe in him for all things and trust it, because if I just believe, I don't want to believe in, and I don't have this relationship. I'm believing he gonna marry me, but he ain't doing nothing to marry me. And I'm standing, I'm waiting around, like, oh, God gonna make it happen. I'm trusting God and I'm praying. Like, that's not what I want. I am in my surrendering era, like I said before. And a part of that is just knowing what God and who God wants for me, because I can make my request known, but I tell God all the time, that's a part of my daily prayer. If that is not what you want for me, if that is not going to help me reach what I call my higher self, the higher self, the next level for me to be at peace, then remove that, show me and take it away.
That's been the lesson that I've been learning now. And I was like, I always felt like, when you know God, I knew God, but I didn't know him. I didn't trust him. I didn't really trust him. Now you could say you trust him, but when you really, really, really start trusting him in every area of your life, I mean, I trust him in every area of my life, which is why I don't care about stuff and why I don't worry, because I fully trust him. When you get into that point of your life, then a lot of these situations where you be in non-alignment or whatever the word is, you get out of it quicker. Because you like, I'm going to trust God.
And it's not always easy. It's hard.
It is.
It's hard because we have this vision or whatever that we thought that our life was going to look like. And then when it doesn't go according to our plan, it's hard. So sometimes we're put in uncomfortable position. I've had to let go of people who I thought would be in my life for forever. And I'm talking about just like platonic friendships, but I still have love for them, but it's just where I am at in my life right now doesn't mesh where they are. Maybe we may reconnect, maybe not, but I just say that to say, like, sometimes you just got to walk away from some stuff and you just got to be okay with it and know that it's just going to be okay. Because one thing that God has showed me, he always going to drop in my lap what I need.
Always. I don't know if you do this, but I be looking at people around me in my life, people that I know and don't know well and don't know well, and I be wondering, like, do y'all really know and trust God? Because if you knew him, it's some things I'm just not going to live my life doing or saying or whatever, because I know we're going to leave here. And when I leave here, I want to be with him. You know what I'm saying? So I have this feeling like recently a lot, because a lot been going on, especially in this city. Young people been getting killed. I don't know if I don't watch the news a lot, but I see on social media different things have been happening. I just be wondering, like, I hope they knew God. I hope they trusted God. I hope they believe, because living your life just frivolously, like you, especially when you go to church and just go, but your relationship is not there. Like, you living a frivolous life. That's scary to me. Like, I be wondering about people that I know that come to my mind. I'd be like, oh, they live such a frivolous life. Like,
I think you hit it though when you said trust God. I think that's the thing, because a lot of people be like, oh, I know God, I pray and that, but that standing on trust, really letting go, that's hard to do as a human being.
Yeah.
That's hard to do.
It is. I trust God in every area. Like, I feel like I've always trusted him, but now on the level where I am now, and the thing that I used to be bad about was when something happened, I started trusting. When something, and he did what he's supposed to do. He brought me out of it, made things happen good for me, and I wasn't even fully surrendered to him. So I should have known then, like, man, you brought me through this.
I always say to people when I talk, like, think about that one time that you did not think that you was going to make it out, and how you made it out.
How you made it out, girl. How you made it out, girl. That's why I said I try not to live a frivolous life where I'm not caring or not thinking about him. That's the thing. And almost everything I do now, well, not almost everything. Everything I do now, I think about him. Let me correct that, because even when it comes to things I don't like, people who I won't say don't like or don't care for, or I know don't care for me, I think about how he want me to act in that or behave in that situation. And when I do what is the uncomfortable for me, when I do what somebody else would say, I don't know how you do that.
I'm one of those somebody else's, because since we have been doing this, I always think about you with that pray for those who persecute you. Yeah. That has been heavy on me, because I don't know if you know this about me, but my evil spirit she evil.
I know. Well, I know, because I mean,
like she
you got that side. We all got a side, but your side has been, yeah.
Yeah, and the thing about me is sometimes it's triggered on something that might not even be a big thing that it needs to be triggered.
Yeah.
So I really struggled with that. So that has been something that I have really been in prayer about every morning, and just constantly working on, because what does it say? Forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us.
Yeah.
So I read that every night. I read it this morning too. And I'm just like really been heavy on the Lord's Prayer, and really been thinking about that, because I know me. You can make me mad and I can be already like, okay, I got you. You know, but it's just like vengeance is it ain't mine. Yeah. I gotta let that go. You know, I gotta let that go.
Think about the people. I mean,
and then I also have to remember everybody is not where I'm at.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because I didn't used to be where I'm at now. You know, I'm still evolving. I'm still trying to become a better person. So sometimes I am going backslide, you know, but I'm gonna get right back up. You know, and like I said, I be constantly praying, because I want to be kind. I read something every day, and it was every day. I read something the other day. It was on TikTok. They had posted, and she said my grandmother, maybe it was her mother, told her to change the love is patient, love is kind, and use the man's word. The man, her husband's name or the name, the man, whoever she's dating, to see
if that person like that.
And then somebody in the comments was just like, I'm gonna put my name in there.
Yeah.
And it was like, because we just need to be better.
I feel like if I'm that way, like the fruits of the spirit, I'll be trying to have the fruits of the spirit and be that, like you said. I heard that too, about put your name in the person who whoever you're dealing with right there is their, their name in that scripture. And if they don't fit that, or if you don't fit that,
you got some work to do.
You got some work to do.
You got some work to do.
So that's why I have like intentionally like be praying for the people who I don't like, who I can't stand, who I know can't stand me, who I know done talked about me and I probably done talked about. And if I start to talk about them, I'll be like, no, you ain't supposed to say that. And sometimes I fail and I may still talk about them because you ain't perfect. You're not perfect, but I intentionally be trying to, have that kind heart or the heart that you supposed. Because a couple of years ago, that WWJD was popular. What would Jesus do? And it was like a fad.
Yeah, it was a fad. Bracelets, stickers in the windows, everything.
Everybody had, but were you really thinking about what would he do? So I be intentionally now trying to, think about. A lot of times when you want to do what feel good to you, to go off or cut somebody out is really you gotta do the opposite of okay. I gotta do the opposite of what I feel like doing. Mm-hmm. And that's hard. Mm-hmm. In all areas. Even with my kids, it'd be things that they may say or do, and I'd be like, I'm about to go off. And I have to change my attitude to be like, this is a teachable moment where you gotta teach them. And I had lunch with my friend the other day, and when I got there, I was like, I am drained from teaching these kids how to be young adults. And I that's why I get tired from nowadays, not from work, because I don't get tired from work. I have a life of ease.
Same.
Life of ease. So,
I don't even know what I get tired from.
Yeah.
It ain't no kids. It ain't none of that.
I don't get tired from work. My tiredness now is coming from teaching them what I wasn't taught. Teaching them how to do the right thing when you really want to do the other thing. Teaching them that, even everyday circumstances, how to pay your bills, how to put money in the bank, how to save money, what you should or shouldn't spend your money on, how to think about making the right. That's draining me now. There ain't nothing else that's going on in my life that's draining me. It's like, I got to teach these kids every day. These kids. But they're learning. And every week, I don't think a week go by when somebody tell me, you're such a good mother. You're such a good, and I'd be looking like, I am doing what I'm supposed to do. I don't particularly feel like that makes me a good mother. I just feel like it makes me a mother. Like you doing what you're supposed to do. But me trying to teach them reverse what I've learned, over the years and learn from friends and everything. It's hard.
It's something about humans because you will tell me that I was a good mother.
You were.
But yet you're like, I'm just a mother. Well, and it's something, but we do that. We do that in different things because I'll be like, oh my God, these rolls on my back. I just wish they'd go away. I ain't doing nothing for them to go away. And then somebody else would be like that ain't that bad. But then they'll be complaining about something on their body. But it's just I'm
gonna tell you this about the good mother thing, because people's definition of good mothers are different. Levels to everything, because nobody was in the house with you and Jordan except you and Jordan.
Yes. So only Jordan can say if I was a good mother or not.
Yes.
Everybody on the outside looking as him being a good kid and,
respect. I look at from the point of view, you had him at 19. He ain't never missed a meal. You was there. You sacrificed. We talked about this. I don't know if it was last week, week before. The sacrifices you made at 19 that other people probably didn't make at that age as a teenage mother. You also had a good support system too, Law. Even my parents, your parents, everybody loved him. Everybody don't have that. But you gave him the best of everything from our vain eyes.
Yep.
From our vain eyes. But you shared something with me today off camera. I was like, that's why you think he wasn't a good mother?
And that's why.
And that's something to me, I was like, I feel like that's just something you didn't know. I don't think it makes you a bad mother, though. I think that it's just something you just didn't know, because who was going to teach you?
Right.
That's why I be trying to teach my kids. But who's gonna teach you?
And I had severe anger issues
at that
time. So that comes out with yelling at your kids when it's not a situation where kids don't need to be yelled at all the time. Yeah. And I whooped Jordan. Yeah. He didn't need to get as many whoopings as he probably did.
Yeah.
And I say that you are a good mother, not to go down the list, but you're actively involved in their lives. And I know that. So, and I know women, mothers that aren't as active as you. So I'm sure the bulk of us will be like, yeah, Keisha, you're a good mother because you
yeah.
They in everything and you're always involved. You there, you doing it all. And then you're teaching them things that you weren't taught. And that is what a good mother does, because a lot of children are learning things from other people, like we said last week.
They learning
up
things.
On the hour.
Are we? Mm-hmm. That went by fast. Girl, we was talking today. Mm-hmm. We was talking.
I'm going to listen to Rihanna on the way home. Needed me.
Listen, this was a great conversation.
I always got to bounce, though.
Yeah, that's your thing.
I got to bounce. I just noticed
you always bounced.
I just noticed that I do that.
Yeah. You know what I do?
Yeah, you do that. You do that.
I do this all the time. You start saying something good, I'll be like this. Like, what? Really? Girl, what you say? Listen. Hey, look, we coming up. We ran out of time. This conversation was good, though. I enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it, too.
I really enjoyed it because I feel like we touched on some things that hopefully is going to be helpful to somebody else. Be intentional about your life.
Your relationships too. If it is not serving where you see your life is, it's time to reevaluate that, because I truly believe everything that we really want, we can have if we are doing the right things.
Absolutely.
And living our life right to get it. We're not going to always get it right. We're going to make mistakes, but when you get that chance to be better, you need to be better. And every time you open your eyes, God is giving you that chance to be better.
And when you open your eyes and he give you that chance, don't take advantage of it. Don't take advantage of any day. Mm-hmm. Don't take advantage of any chance that you're given to get it better. And if there's somebody who watches,
did you say don't take advantage of any day? Did you say that like that?
Don't take advantage of any day. Don't. She knew what I meant.
Yeah, because I was like, wait a minute.
Don't take advantage of any day he gives you, like you're going to get another chance.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. That's how I want to say. Take advantage of it.
Take advantage of every day. Yes. Thank you, friend.
Take advantage. Yes. Because we be talking, when you hear friends talking, you know what they saying and what they mean to say, but that ain't really what you said. And this time I caught it.
I know. Thank you. Because I don't want to have to correct this again.
Yes, we can come on.
Correct this stuff. Listen, and it's somebody out there who may watch this that don't believe in God, who may be like, they talk about God and blah, blah, blah.
But my thing is, now I ain't going to even say that because I believe in God and believe in God.
Believe.
But for the people who believe in something.
Yes.
No, I don't want to say that either. Believe in God.
Because everybody be saying, I believe in there's a higher source. What do you think that source is?
Yeah.
The source is God. It's not, God is the universe.
Because it's just like, I don't want to say that if that's not my belief. Yeah, you see what I'm saying? I respect other people's beliefs.
I do too.
But if you and I believe in God, then we need to set this platform that this platform is for people who believe in God.
Yeah. And it's to help people start believing.
Yes.
Because if you don't believe, like, man,
he's so real.
Listen.
He is so real.
He's so real. It's so many things that me and her don't share on camera that happens every day that we just be like, oh my God.
Literally, oh my God. Because it only could have been God that did this.
Listen, we want y'all to believe. We want y'all to like. We want y'all to subscribe. We want y'all to share this with somebody. I challenge you to share this with somebody that you know, coworker, friend, somebody who you think may be helped from the messages. Even if you don't think they may be helped, just share it. Send it to somebody. Subscribe to our channel. We will see you next time. And say, you got friends?
Yeah, that's all I got. I just keep thinking, just be intentional. Don't be wasting y'all lives away for somebody who really ain't got your heart like it should.
Tomorrow ain't promised. I'm not wasting no time.
And I'm trying to be happy and, peace, bliss, all of that.
All that.
And I know sometimes I get it wrong and I make mistakes, but we also need to know how to be forgiven. Yes. I'm about to start a whole nother conversation. So, okay. Peace.
Next week we may talk on forgiveness, because this maybe have to be continued too, because people may need to know, how do I be intentional about these things y'all talking about?
Because hurt people. And sometimes, okay, I'm sorry.
We're going to start right there. And we're going to continue next week of talking about hurt people, hurting people. We'll see y'all next week.
Peace. Look at us. Got a topic to talk about next week. I'm going to keep that on there. Okay, peace.